get up and talk in front of people. But I have the honor of introducing Mr. Rayshone Emmanuel. So I first started following Mr. Rayshone with Hear My Heart podcast. And I love what him and his wife was doing as a team. And then I went to an event where he performed. So I was like, sister, we gotta get him, because I like what he's doing, not only for the community and in ministry. I like it that he's doing it with his wife and they're doing it as a team, where they are equally yoked. So, with that being said, Mr. Rayshone Emmanuel.
Need a mic? I'm loud. I don't think I'm gonna need a mic. I tend to get a little loud, but if y'all need, do I need a mic for the recording purposes or? All right, we so that's this gonna work?
Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah.
Cause I tend to get a little loud. So all right, they told y'all my name is Rayshone. Rayshone, I go by Rayshone Emmanuel. All right, so some of y'all parents know me, some of y'all don't know me. So like she said, so I do the podcast. That's one of the main things that we do. We do Hear My Heart podcast, me and my wife, and that became our go-to. Like it was a way for us to speak to different people and just be transparent about where we at in life. Because a lot of times people, these tough conversations, we don't mind having them. So we have these tough conversations and talk about stuff that people don't normally want to talk about, and it'd be funny, everybody be laughing, and it'd be transparent. So that's one thing. But rewind, like here we is, like me and my wife been together now since 2009. It's like about 15, 16 years, I think that's about, somewhere in that range. My man ain't the best. So 16, look, ooh, we got a math scholar in here. All right, so we've been together, but if anybody know, like my wife is super reserved, super behind the scenes, don't like being in front of no camera, don't like being, like I'm the one that outspoken and she in the corner somewhere hiding. But that's the balance. But now we in the shift where he's using both of us, and like she's not here tonight because my little girl and them won their championship game and they had a game tonight. And that came about Thursday night when they played. So you know, that's why we're not here, because I do everything with my family. I was just at a school in St. Charles Parish with my wife, and my kids was there because we homeschool our daughters. So here we are, it's me, my wife, and then my kids over there. And like my little girl come up there rapping with me, she dancing and stepping with me and all of that. Because I understand, like, as we do this family night, the enemy is attacking the family. You know, like, here we are, you know, and it's great. Some people have blended families and some people can co-parent great, and then some people can. And my testimony is I went through a rough co-parenting situation. Now here my son, 20 years old, is finally getting better, you know, but so the enemy will use that, and a lot of times we give place to the enemy because we start a family outside of God's will and his instruction on the way he designed the family to be equally yoked and being married, and you know, so y'all, we got some young men in here and all of that. So like that's why you spend time, and that's why you don't participate in grown activities with somebody that's not your wife. Because of that, because here it is, I got multiple kids. I got two, you know, I got a baby mom and I got my wife. But the woman that I had my sons with wasn't the woman that God called me to be with, because I'm not with her. Like, that's not who he put together, and that's why I'm dealing with the consequences of my actions. I love my kids, I love my sons, but the situation and the relationship revolving around it was because I went outside of God's will in my life. You know what I'm saying? Now here it is, I'm here to tell y'all, look what he's doing with me and my wife, because that lined up. And we've always, like earlier today we was talking, I'm like, man, we was just talking about structure, you know, because we counsel a lot of people and stuff like that. So I'm telling this guy was like, man, yeah, maybe God didn't put us together. Maybe, you know, I'm going through this with my wife now because we was never meant to be. And, you know, the word said, what God put together, let no man separate. So a lot of times we come and it's like, well, you know, we both saved now. You know, did God put us together? Now we dealing with trials and tribulation. Like, wait, maybe this ain't the one God lined me up with. But I was talking about our situation. I'm like, nah, because we always went to church. Even though we wasn't saved, we wasn't living right, but we always went to church. I would leave doing concerts, and she better, like, you better be at church doing something, you know. I have a concert Saturday night, opening up at House of Blues, me, Wardy, and open up for Gates and all that. Yeah, you like, hold on. So it's like, here we doing this, but then the next morning, I gotta be at church because I don't want to hear her mouth. But we wasn't like where we at now. You know, it's people that attend church, and it's people that really be the church and really live in a holy lifestyle and consecrated. And, you know, there's some people that play baseball and some people that really like play baseball. Like, you know, I go out and hit a ball, but I'm not fully invested and dedicated to that. And so, and the same thing with us living a holy lifestyle. You know, some people go, you know, and check off, hey, I went to church this Sunday, and leave church and go turn up and live contrary to what they just read in the Bible. And, you know, but it's like, hey, I showed up. So like, but you don't win the championship game just going to show up for baseball practice. You know, no, you got to practice and participate and be active with that. And that sets the difference between you playing a sport and being successful at it versus just, hey, I play basketball. I can tell you right now, I played basketball in high school, football, did all of it. But when the opportunity came, they was like, hey, practice went over. One time, football practice went over the time that I expected it to go over. And I'm telling the coach, right here, I'll let your coach tell. And I'm like, bro, I got to go to work. He was like, either you're going to play football or you're going to go to work. And I ain't been on the football field ever since. Because I didn't see a football future, a football career. So I didn't invest my time in it. I went do what I was good at. Like, I know how to make money with my hands. And so that's what I achieved that success. And that's what I did. And I pursued that. And fast forward, I've accomplished a lot of things, you know, and made a successful life and, you know, succeeded in life because of what my hands are capable of doing. And your gift will make way for you. So I say that to say, you make a decision. Do you want to be fully invested with the things of the Lord? You seek ye the kingdom first and everything else will be added. You know, so, okay, you can seek the kingdom and God can add on, or you can seek the things and then you miss the kingdom as well. So you lose on both ends. So I made a decision, like, so my family, like, this is the structure, is God, my wife, and my kids. That's my order. Like, you know, I seek the kingdom first, and then I seek, you know, I steward and I honor my wife, and then I tend to my kids. And that's like, oh, well, your kids should be first. No, them kids gonna get old and they're gonna leave me, and I'm gonna be there with just me and that woman. You know, so the attack is on the family. You know, so as we here to celebrate family night, it's like, okay, who in here lives with their mother and father? I want to see. You live with your mother and father, you live with your mother and father. No. All right, so who in here lives with just their father? Nobody, right? Okay, who lives with just their mother? Okay, we got a few. Who lives with their grandparent, their grandmother? Okay, so I used to live with I lived with my mom and my daddy, and then I moved, when I got put out of school, I came moved to Lush, I started living with my grandmother, you know, and my parents are still together. But then I got friends and stuff that lives with aunts, uncles, like we adopted our godson. You know, we was taking care of him because his mom had him young and he was living with us. Like, everybody's situation is not the same. It's a different dynamic to it, but it's still the same attack. So it's like, okay, well, what's the same attack? The enemy wants to separate the household. So if you dig into even like the government, like a mother can't get assistance from the government if the father's in the house. Why you don't help them get through a rough patch? No, I'm gonna help you if he ain't here. So that shows you, like, what's the attack? They don't want the man there. And granted, we have complications. Some men don't want to be there. Some don't show up. Some don't do what they're supposed to do. And some have a desire to do it, and then the mom don't let them. But every situation, but it all goes back to the attack on the family. So that's what we're here for, right? So we want to reboot and restructure. So men, women, you have to be intentional with who you allow in your life. A lot of times we give titles to friends that people don't deserve. We allow people to be our friend and call them our friend, and really, they ain't really did nothing to deserve our friendship. So there's a word. It's a curse word. Y'all buckle up. Loyalty. Like, how is that a curse word? Because that's a bad word, because a lot of times it's misused. A lot of times we'll say a person is loyal to us and give a person, oh yeah, loyalty, and we do things in the sake of loyalty to people that's not really loyal to us in the first place, and it's because of longevity. So a lot of times we associate loyalty with longevity because a person been in our life or been around us. Oh, I've been knowing them since I was in elementary. I've been knowing them since junior high and all that. But that don't mean they're loyal. They just been present. You know, but situations are exposed if somebody really loyal to you. But the thing about it is you don't want to get in a situation and find out this person ain't loyal to me. Because then it's too late. You know, you could be in a car with somebody and you thinking, okay, we cool, man, that's my day one. Until that day come and you realize this ain't my day one. They ain't really got my back. They really a fool. And then, but now here he is, you sitting in handcuffs and sitting in the juvenile facility or jail cell and not thinking like, man, this person ain't, I don't know what they ain't that same. I don't know if they gonna, that wasn't even for me. You know what I'm saying? I was riding with them. And a lot of times we'll be in these situations because we just think that like, okay, look, everybody has our best interests at mind. And I can tell you that mama ain't always fussing just to fuss. Mama done seen some things that you haven't seen. Dad ain't fussing just to fuss because in an experienced life, I'm 5'6", but let's just for sake of example, let's say I'm 7 feet tall, which I ain't, but we get past that. So okay, if I'm 7 feet tall, and that door probably about 7 feet, 6, something like that. So if I walk through that door and I hit my head on it, and you 7 feet and you walking behind me, what you gonna do? You gonna what? You gonna hit your head unless you do what? Duck. So you got an option to walk through that door and hit your head or duck. So what are you gonna do? So in life, there's some people that don't walk through some doors and they hit their head, and they telling you from experience, hey, you need to duck. So ducking may look like not answering a call for somebody. Ducking may look like not going on a basketball court and hanging with these people. Ducking may look like not trying to vape or steal. That's what ducking may look like. Every situation is different. But they're telling you from experience like, hey, mama know. Hey, your uncle know. Like, you know, somebody that's speaking into you did an experience like, I don't want you to hit your head. So you need to duck. But time after time, I'm guilty of it. I walk right through that door and bang, hit my head because I want to do things my way instead of what somebody went ahead of me and did and showed. Because that's you know, because we always think like, man, my mom used to always tell me, hey, here it is, I'm 15 years old, hanging with my brother, them 21, 22 years old. And if I'm not with my brother, I'm hanging with my brother friends. And at 15, 16, I'm doing things my 21, 22-year-old brother and them was doing. And fast forward, it led me down a cycle that got me in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because I won't be grown. Nah. Like if I could go back and be in junior high and high school again, man, I'll play every sport. I'll do every with it spirit week. I'll dress up crazy. I'll do the crazy hair with the mismatched clothes and all that. Everything that I thought I was too cool to do, I'll do. Because I understand that this is memories that's being created and opportunities that's being missed because I don't want to take advantage of it because I won't be grown. Nah, man, enjoy being 15, 16. How old are you? 13. How old are you? 13. How old are you? 8, 11, 12, 11, 14, 16, 11, 10, 17, 15, and the young man on the back corner with the white shirt. Can I tell you that the stuff I was involved in at 13, when I turned 20, is the reason that I went to jail? I got infatuated and I love guns because a family friend took me and his son out to go shoot a gun at 13, and I instantly got the thrill of it. And it was innocent. He wasn't thinking nothing. We went shoot this Mossberg pump. Fast forward, my street name, when I started getting in the street, they started calling me Mossberg. Because I always carried them up. That was the exact same gun that I went and get. And then when I got hit in the foolishness of the streets and all of that, that's what people started calling me. But it was something that I took a part in when I was 13. So here we are, 8, 11, 15, 16, 17. The stuff you do now has the ability to either affect your future in a positive way a negative way. It's like, well, I got time to get it together. No, you don't. Especially now, like just being honest, like you don't have like the way the world is structured now and all of that, man. You can make a decision right now at 15 that'll cost you everything. It's to the point now that these new laws are in place. At 17, they want to charge you as an adult. So now here it is, a 17-year-old gets sentenced the same way you were sentenced a 50-year-old or a 30-year-old. You're not making decisions based upon your cerebral cortex, and your brain ain't fully developed to the point where I'm thinking like, man, at 15, I'm 16, if I make this decision, man, I'm gonna mess up my whole life. Nah, at 50, you're gonna be like, man, let me be wise. Let me make some, you're really thinking about the decisions you're making. 16, 17, you're not thinking there's consequences to your actions. You're not thinking about, okay, if I'm in the store and I see this cash register, they got money just sitting on there, man, I'm gonna just grab it. You're not thinking, man, these people, I can go to jail behind this. You know, they got cameras. Ask me how I know, because I was 15, 16 years old, and I went to pay on the layaway at this place called Buckle, and I went there, and they had, when I walk up there to the counter, they got money sitting on the dresser, not the dresser, sitting on the counter, and I grabbed it and I put it in my pocket. And then I proceeded to pay on my layaway. So now they calling the number and trying to lock me up because not thinking like, hold on, if I was a good criminal, I would just took it and left. But I wasn't a good criminal because I ain't never was no thief. And so but I took the money and then I used the money, some of it, to pay on the layaway. So now they didn't tag my name with it, so now they know who it is. So now they trying to call and lock me up and all that. They call it, and then so it got to the point when they called my phone. I gave the phone to my dad, and my dad interacted with him, and he was like, "Look, we're not gonna press charges on him. Just bring the money back." I ain't gonna bring nothing. My dad said, "No, I'm gonna go bring the money back." And so he dealt with it, and that gave me another opportunity. So, but had I been a career criminal, I would have knew how to handle that. So, but look at that, the potential that situation had, it could have really messed me up. Ask me how I know, because here it is. I don't know if some of y'all know, but I walked here, because I live literally across the street. Like the house with the garage, the metal building, that's where I live at. So I walked here. So about a year ago, little boy, you know what I'm saying, about 16, I think he was about 16 at the time. I had my golf cart parked at the head of the road because my brother-in-law was supposed to come get my golf cart and go to Lamar Dixon. So I ain't thinking nothing of it. My wife wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, golf cart, gone. Say, look for me. Little dude, 16-year-old, he was like, man, I was walking and I just saw it and I just wanted to go ride in it. He literally went ride in it and came back and parked it back. But in that window, we woke up, called the police, it wasn't there. And then when I went outside, I went and used the bathroom. And then when I'm walking outside, I saw him breaking out, running. And I hollered and I was chasing him. And then, you know, the enemy was playing with my mind, like, you ain't got to chase him. You got to stop him, because I walked out, like I was going to see if I could ride around and see if I could find him. And I happened to have my family protector with me. You know what I'm saying? So I could have easily done it now, but that wasn't what, so, but the man of God in me was like, nah, calm down, turn around and go home. And I did exactly that. I didn't let the enemy play with me. And the old version of me they would have picked him up right where he was, because you in my property, you in my yard, you know. But the man of God clicked in. So I'm transformed by the renewing of my mind. So it's like, no, you don't respond the way you know Mossberg responds. You don't respond Jimmy Burke way. No, you respond like the man of God that you are, Rayshone, the man God created you to be. So boom, that happened. Fast forward, never found him, and I did what I always knew how to do. I hit the streets. I sent the APB out, find him. My little cousin, they were like, hey, I found out who he is. You want me to? No, I want to talk to him. So you want me to be? No, don't touch him. I want to talk to him. So I get on the phone with his, and then come to find out I knew his mom. So now, because this is the family, this is what we hear now, family night, right? It's about community. People always talk about it takes a village. Now you got an option as a parent to either let your child get disciplined this way, or let the parents wanted to deal with him, because he had left a cold drink can on it and everything. They wanted me to turn him in. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing none of that. I got it. And if he don't do what I need him to do, his mom don't do what I need him to do, Cool. Then y'all can have him, but I'm gonna give him an opportunity. I'm gonna give him a second chance the way I was given a second chance at 16. So I wind up talking to his mom, and she was like, "Oh, how you know that was him and all that?" And I'm thinking it's about to go all the way left. How I know that's him? I sent out my APB, you know, because I did, like, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna back up. So I've always had a reputation. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we become a slave to our name in the streets. So I in pride, to be honest and tell y'all, in my pride, man, that's my golf. Man, nobody ain't touching nothing for me. They know me. But no, they don't know this version of me. They know that version of me. And that version ain't this version. Nah, man, you can have it. I ain't tripping. But before it was like, yeah, we gonna gab with the gab. You know what I'm saying? So I was still walking around like that, like, man, nobody ain't gonna touch nothing for me. They ain't gonna play with me like that. And it is this 16-year-old, he don't know me. He don't know nothing but that version of me or nothing like that. And then, you know, these YNs, they be on some different type of time. You know? They don't respect nobody. You know? So I'm like, all right, boom. It happened. So it's like, okay, so I still connected. So I sent the word out. So now here it is. I'm fast forward. I got the opportunity to speak to his mom. So she was like, well, he was down there because he don't even live down here. He was visiting. So I was like, well, he was down here. So you know what? Let me go look at the camera, run the cameras back on my mom, and let me see if he left. Sure enough, he left. But I hadn't already knew he left because I done found his social media and everything. Man, I used to be a dog. You know what I'm saying? So when they told me who they thought it was, I done went found Instagram. I'm looking at pictures on Instagram compared to what I seen in my yard on my cameras. I'm like, yeah, that's the same shoes. And okay, he had the mask on his face. I see the Burberry scarf that he had on his picture here. I know this is him. So talking to mama, so she like, you know what? That is him. She said, so what you want to do? I say, FaceTime. So she told him, confronted him, he ran away. Boom. He went missing. So the next morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning, I get a FaceTime. She was like, he back home. You want to talk to him right now? I'm like, yeah, put him on the phone. So I'm talking to him. I'm boom, 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 going in. I'm like, bro, like, how you want to handle this? Either we could, when you come back in town, soon as you get here, she dropping you all by me. Or soon as you get here, you go in the comment. How you want to play it? You got an option. Either we could do this my way, and let me mentor you and let me talk to you. We can do that my way, or you can do what you want to do and let the people deal with you. Fast forward, he started coming whenever he come in town. I used to get him, and he came to a concert with me, one of the Christian concerts. He came to that with me. Then he came to feed the homeless with me for Thanksgiving. We did a feed and all of that. And so I'm saying all that to say, he was like, okay, yeah, well, what about that? So now here it is. He started playing baseball. He graduated high school in, I guess he graduated early. So he graduated in December or whatever. Now he didn't graduate. And then now, literally, he just got out of boot camp. He in the service. So he enlisted in the service. He just got out of boot camp. I was messaging him the other day. I'm like, bro, I'm so proud of you. But that was one defining moment because I asked him why he took the golf cart. He was like, man, I just wanted to joyride. I'm like, bro, you could have came the next day. That next morning came, talk to me, and I would have let you ride. Like, you could have came ride, but he's not thinking, he's just in the moment. And I'm like, you could have, I'm like, bro, I'm like, dog, like, I could have shot you. Like, do you realize that? I'm like, ask your mama who I was prior to the last 9 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you played a dangerous game, and then on top of that, you got away from all of that. But then you had an opportunity to go to jail because your DNA is on this Sprite can that you drinking this cold drink and you left it on the golf cart. But I'm like, well, why you brought it back? Because he brought it back to my house. He was like, bro, it was nice. And I didn't want to let you, that I didn't want your money to go down the drain or go pocket anywhere. So now I'm like, okay, I got something to work with here because he got a conscience. So, okay, you just made a bad decision. You got a good heart, a good conscience. Like, let me see what we can do and build off it. Now, fast forward, he just graduated from the academy or whatever, boot camp. He in the military now and all of that. So, and I know they gonna discipline and teach him his structure and everything because he don't have his dad. His dad died when he was young. So he don't have that male figure, and his godfather is trying to help and do all that, but he live out of state. So he don't have nobody here. But the one person that stepped in and tried to help him and I was able to help him, and we see the fruit of it along with his mama, like superwoman, like doing what she can. But a woman can only raise a man so much. It's only so much she can do because we can only recreate who we are. So how can a woman recreate a strong man when she's not a strong man? She's a strong black woman, you know what I'm saying? Or a strong white woman, or strong whatever the Spanish, whatever the case may be. She can be the strong woman, but it's hard for her to raise a strong man. She's gonna do a great job, but she's still missing. They're still lacking. You know what I'm saying? But not to take away from that, but they need that man in their life. And then some men not there. Some people, grandfather's not there, uncle's not there, not doing whatever the case may be. But when someone steps in, then we see the structure of family and somebody stepping in, whether it's a stepdad or uncle or whoever the case may be, that's stepping and filling that void because it's a void. And that's the thing, and that's what it's about, and that's why we push through. So I've achieved a bunch of things in my life, right? So I want somebody who ever raised their hand, I want y'all to tell me, what does success mean to you? Don't everybody raise their hand at one time now. You moving over there, come on.
Being committed to something.
Committed.
Like fully dedicated.
Fully dedicated, that's your definition of success.
Yeah.
Achieving. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to say something? You over his head. I know he like, boy, don't call me. I'm gonna tell you something. When you ducking it, that always put a target on it. When you trying to look, that literally be like, okay, I'm gonna call you. All right. So let me so to be successful, what does it look like? Success look like to you? Like, okay, we say achieving, we defined it. What does being successful look like to you? So somebody else, matter of fact, my buddy Phil Dave with the blue, we're gonna go with you. What does success look like to you? Somebody successful. What does it mean for you to be successful? Like, okay, what I'm gonna do this, that, and other. I'm gonna be successful in life when I'm at this age or whatever. Achieving what you want. Okay. Anybody else? What does it look like to be successful to you? Like, some people like buying stuff or having nice house and all that. Like, what does somebody successful look like? Or what does you being successful look like right now at this point in your life? Like, you know what? If I do this, that, and the other, I'm gonna be successful. This is my goal. Mm-hmm. And what is it that you want to achieve? Major League Baseball. So if you get this Major League contract with the MLB, that's success to you. All right. Anybody else? What success is to you? What you got to do to achieve? Like, you know what? I'm successful. I made it. Hard work. So what does that? After you do the hard work, what does it look like? Your achievement? Like, you know what? I accomplished this. He said for him to go to the Major League. So what is to you? Like, what do you have to do in order for it to be like, you know what? I accomplished. Now I'm successful. I did this. I bought this. Whatever. You don't have nothing?
Like something you're doing. Something that goal you want to achieve. What that you want to do. Put in that hard work.
So what your hard work? You say, yeah, put in hard work. So what are you working toward? What is your hard work going towards? Football? Okay. So success. A lot of times I was literally with when you say football, I'm gonna play all that. So I know this NFL player. Like, I was with him probably about 2 months ago now. We was in Dallas. So he's a successful football player. Won the Super Bowl and everything as a kicker, and he was sitting on the field holding the trophy, and they won the Super Bowl, playing for the New York Giants. He was like, and his son came up to him and said, "Dad, I want to be just like you. I want to win the Super Bowl like you when I get older." And he said he went from his high to a super low because he felt like he achieved success. But then here it is, like my son saying he want to be like me, and I'm horrible. He was like, I was failing as being a dad, failing at being a husband, but on the outside, I'm succeeding because I'm making all this money. we just won a Super Bowl. I got these contracts. It looks good. I look like I'm successful, but I'm a failure. And it's like, okay, a lot of times we achieve success, monetary things. Like I went from having 7 cars, a big house with a pool and a pond, looking super successful, living it, killing it. I got like $120,000 in my bank account. Like I'm up. Success. Whole time I'm fighting for custody of my sons. I'm not seeing my kids. Like, you know, I'm failing in life, but on the outside it looked like I'm succeeding. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we attach success with monetary things. But what about when you achieve that monetary thing? I had it. I'm up. I'm happy. I got the cars. I got the house. I got the girl. You know what I'm saying? I got the money. But I'm still feeling empty inside. Because what I thought was success, I thought what I was shooting for, what my hard work was dedicated to, I worked at it and I got it, but I still feel like I ain't got it. And that's what we do. A lot of times we chase that like this is success and I want to be successful. But a lot of times we put success in a box of what people told us successful is. Successful, okay, yeah, I'm successful. I got the house. I'm successful. I got the job. I'm successful. I got the marriage. I got the my little jokes. I got the little like I got her. That's success to some people. But then when you get that and you feel like it's not filling that void no more, it's like, man, like I still feel empty. I still feel like something missing when I should be happy because I achieved a goal. I achieved something successful. I should be. But then a lot of times, once that moment passes, it's like, boom, you're deflated. And that's what the NFL player was like, man, I did that. I got the contract. I got these, you know, I'm making all kind of money selling supplements. He on the front cover of the Best Fit magazine or whatever that is, and then he's losing in his life because our definition of success is off. Because when I went from having, you know, we grew up right there in Luxor on LaBrie Street, and my dad moved us from there, and then we bought this 2-story house, and then we got away from, you know, like what we thought was quote unquote what society tell us, like, man, we living in poverty. But no, at the end of the day, like the goal is to be financial free, having debt free. Like I went from like when I bought that house right there, my partners were like, man, you tripping. I'm like, why? He was like, man, how you leave your big house to go move in that little bitty house? Nah, because in 5 years, like, you know, that house be paid for. I'm done with that versus me being kind of got this $300,000 hanging over my head. You know, but everybody's success looks different because they're looking at that. But my wife was more happy in the smaller house than she was when we was in the big house. You know what I'm saying? I would have to come from out of town and I got to go cut all this grass and do all that. Now I don't cut grass. The man, one of my people come cut the yard for me. My wife pushed it last week. She was tired of waiting on him. She out there with the push line. I was like, girl, I'm going to put you on Facebook. You know, I'm like, boy, I want to cut grass like that with a push line when we got a bunch of yard. You know, I'm like, yeah, I won. But to me, that's success. Now my success is being able to leave out I had a big old shop. Now I got a little bit of garage in the back. I work out and make my money out there. But I'm able to leave out of my building and go inside and spend time with my family. I'm able to be at, like, I'm not there tonight, but all last week I'm at my kids' baseball game and all that. I go to these events at school when my kids was still in school, and I'm the only dad that's there. It's nothing but mama's there for craft days and all that because mama got the time to go. Daddy trying to grind and get it, or daddy not present, but here I'm the only man that's there. I'm like, man, this is, you know, and I'm cherishing this moment, but I'm looking at it like, man, this is why we dealing with what we dealing with, because of the absence of these men. Like, men, you got to show up. You know what I'm saying? For these kids, I don't care what mama doing or not doing and not letting you, like, I went hard. I spent over 40 grand and I stopped counting to be in my kid's life. I'm hiring private investigators. I told you I'm on it. One time, my baby mama sent me a picture of my sons, and that's why y'all gotta be mindful, y'all, what y'all doing, taking it with these phones. She sent me a picture, and it had a location on it. And what I did, I went to that location, and I saw her car, and that was it. I went with my move. But because of that, but I was active and I was passionate because I wanted to be in my kid's life, and that's the difference. So, success. We talk about success. Now, the word says you leave an inheritance for your kids and your kids' kids. So successful and wealth So what does wealth, people like, being wealthy, what does wealthy mean? Being wealthy. You got a lot of money. That's when we go to wealth, right? So let me give, I got the actual definition. So let me give you the definition of wealth. I wrote it down. So wealth, an abundance of valuables of possessions and money, right? So that's having a lot of money. We instantly go to wealth being monetary. That's what it's defined as. But then there's a phrase that says health is wealth. There's people there's millionaires that need a lung right now, need a heart right now. There's like this, what's his name? Rockefeller, this Rockefeller man. One of the richest people in New York and all that. Man, that man had like 5 heart transplants. Because he could afford to do it, but he still was dying. He constantly kept putting a new heart because he didn't have health. There's people that's on their deathbed that will pay anything to be able to get out of that bed, but they got money. So if you feel like right now that if you had $1 million, you would be happy and good, you could change your family and everything. Anybody feel like that? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if $1 million right now change your life. I ain't no hand raised. I might have a million. I might be about to write you $1 million check. Yeah, you need two. Raise 2 of my hand. Yeah. So. Yeah, give me that. So, do you know that millionaires have blown their brains out, committed suicide? If you think like, why would you kill yourself if you got all of this money? There's an old phrase, more money, more problems. Mental. Come on, kid, she on fire, okay? So your daddy is teaching you something. I thought I had to question that for a second.
Look, grandma just did a grandmother.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do.
Grandmother teaching.
Yeah, but that's different. Like I'm gonna do this way. You over 50?
74.
Okay, because some of you you go to talking age. So 74, what to be 75? See, that's the difference because here she got a 74-year-old grandma that's active and pouring into her. Other than we got this 25-year-old grandmother that's still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying. But hopefully nobody 25 with a grandma. But you just never know. But that's wisdom when you cross a certain age and that's being poured into. Like my grandparents poured into me. And I've always, sometimes people tell me I got an old soul and I lived with my grandmother. And then I got great parents, but it's stuff that my grandparents taught me that my parents didn't teach me. And she know my daddy and all that. She know my family. You know what I'm saying? But it's something about that. But then here we got the grandparent that's 50 years old and they clubbing with the grandchild and everything else or the child. But it's like, don't want babies and I ain't watching that child and all that. It's like, nah, you got to be active because sometimes parents miss it. And that's why you got to be able to catch that slack if you have grandkids. But we talking wealth. So millionaires kill itself because money ain't the solution to your problem. You know what I'm saying? There's some things money can't solve. There's some things money can't deal with, and but it's only that because when we broke, it was things that when I was broke, I was like money could fix. Then I started getting money, and I'm really like, man, money still can't fix it. I still got other problems. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we run to that because we never had that, and then here it is. I went from everything that I ever wanted when I didn't have money. When I started getting money, I started buying. I had shoes coming in, getting mailed, Balenciagas, Giuseppe's, every pair of J's, buying J's for me, my nephew, my kids, all that. Everything that I never got growing up, I went out and bought it when I could afford to buy it. And because I still was dealing with the issue that I had as a child. Because here it is, a lot of times we see people acting out and doing things, and it's really childhood trauma that's being manifested as an adult. Here it is, you're wondering why this person acting the way they're acting because they're not dealing with the things that they dealt with at 8, at 11, 13. I was molested at 11 and I didn't realize this is why I went from woman to woman and all of that because of what happened to me at 11. You know what I'm saying? And then fast forward, here it is, I'm 12 and a family friend do some stuff to me, and then I got me questioning like, man, just a dude didn't penetrate you, dude touched you. Now you know, are you gay? No, I'm not gay. But at the end of the day, like, these are things that I dealt with as a child, and then now I understand why I deal with women the way I dealt with women up until I got saved and I handed my battle over to the Lord, because there was things that I dealt with, and it wasn't until like literally like one of the situations I suppressed it so long that I didn't even really realize till like a year, like, you know, not a year, like a few months ago when I'm in Dallas and this man sharing his testimony, the NFL player, and it was like, hold on, I'm dealing with that, but I felt like I got my lick back, but it's really because of I wasn't protected in the way I dealt with aggression. I was always so aggressive because I never put myself in a position where I'm vulnerable again. So now I became to be this violent person because nobody gonna play with me. I ain't nobody gonna play with me like, you know, like that again, or put myself to be vulnerable again. And so I became to be violent. And the way that I dealt with women was because of stuff that I dealt with as a child. And then fast forward, so now you look at adults and they dealing with stuff the way they act out, and whether they get on social media and they rant, or they deal with this, they jump from this relationship to that relationship because it's a cycle, and it's stuff that they was exposed to because they watched daddy go from woman to woman and got 10 different children across this one and that one, and you can't date her because that might be your sister and it's a family secret and all this you don't know. But at the same time, it's like these cycles and stuff that you begin to see, and it's all because of generational curses, and it's all because of what's rooted and what hasn't been dealt with. Because there's a phrase and there's a saying, whatever you don't deal with, you're gonna leave for your kids to deal with. So the issues that I had, if I wouldn't have dealt with them, I got 2 little girls that I have to deal with that, or my sons would have to deal with that because I wouldn't break those generational curses. And so we got an opportunity now that we can get ahead of this. Y'all young enough where we can tell our own stuff and retrain and show y'all a different way and a different perspective on how to approach life. And yeah, ain't nothing wrong with being successful, but understanding this is my definition of success. This is my goal. I don't have to account, well, you're 25, you got to be married at this, you got to have a house. And man, your story don't have to be somebody else's story. If you got a loving mother that's going to be there for you and let you go to college or let you put yourself in a position, or whether you won't go to college or not, I don't push college on nobody, because I went to college because I had to go to college, but I spent 5 years in a 2-year college because I ain't got it all up there. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm the mind of Christ. I wasn't the best reader. I got to read things 10 times before I understand it one time. That wasn't my strength. But my hands, I was good at with my hands. And my mama tell you, even when I was homeschooled, I may not grab it, but anytime I did something physical and I actually did it with my hands, I learned it. But if you just tell me to read this and all that, it's going in one ear and out the other, I'm not going to comprehend it. You know, yeah, I was telling my sister, I'm like, man, I'm in Bible college. Boy, I failed my first test. And I'm living the Bible. I'm active. Boy, I felt horrible. I'm like, man, how you fail your Bible college class? Test on me. Well, I ain't fail the class. I would do that in Jesus. But so I wind up failing my first Bible test. But then here we are. I had to do a retake on the test. And then as we go and do the retake, I wind up meeting somebody because I went to a store to make a copy, and I was able to pour into somebody. So me failing that test put me in a position to where I had to really like take it more serious and lock in. But then it also put me in a position while I'm way in Dallas going to make copies to be able to connect with somebody and pour to them, because they dealing with stuff that I dealt with as a child. So now here I am able to minister to them. So everything, there's nothing that's wasted. Nothing that we do is in vain if we do it unto the Lord and God, let God do it. But I'm saying that to say you may not be the smartest, you may not be the brightest, but what I do tell you is you better make something, you better learn a trade, you better get active, you got to do something. Whatever you good at, whatever you love to do, that's what you pursue. I love cars, and that's what I made a living off of, messing with cars. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to do something. I'm not telling you don't go to college. I'm not telling you don't learn trade. I'm not telling you nothing. But don't let people put date limits on you. Like, man, you can't do this. Like, man, I had people when I opened my body shop that told me don't do that. Man, why you turn that job down? Why you? Man, I'm going with my move. I can always go get a job for somebody else, and I always go work, but that's something that I felt like I wanted to do. And I did that, and I was successful with it until God called me to walk away from it so I can do more things like this, to be able to be, I control my time and make myself available for God and God's people. So that's why I can go to, I went to 2 schools last week. I got to go to 1 this week. You know what I'm saying? But I make myself available. And it's Thursday, not Wednesday. So I got to go to the school Thursday, but I'm available because I'm not confined to, oh, well, you should have this, that, and the other. You should look, this what your success should look like. And I understand that my time, like I can sell this company my time and be there 40 hours and all that. Or God has graced me, because even that, like some people have to go on their job and God uses them on their job. So I'm not talking against somebody going on 9 to 5, but if you're there, make the most of it. And if you don't like being there, you're probably still there because God going to use you to do something there, and you got to get past that test, and He's going to let you go into a new season. So you got to be active. So ain't nothing. I'm not talking like I stayed with my mom until I bought my first house. I think at like 27. You know, but I lived with my ex. We had a trailer and all of that, and I left her, and I left the trailer. I signed the code and everything. I left everything. I'm gone. I went back home to my mom at 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? Living with my mom. I was like, okay, come on. And I did that. And I picked myself up, got myself together, got my life together. And then fast forward, me and my wife wound up buying a house together, got married and everything else. And I'm moving forward. But we have this issue where, oh, you still live with your mama? I can live with my mama as long as I'm helping her and pushing her and I'm getting myself together. You know what I'm saying? I'm active and I'm actually pursuing. Or I could go live with this woman, check up with her, and pay her bills. I can help my mama get on her feet. What's the difference? So, okay. But society will make you feel like you failing because you put yourself in position. No, I'm regrouping. I'm not failing, I'm regrouping. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got time. Y'all got a little time on y'all hands. But take advantage of this time. Don't waste your time. We got to be a good steward. Like stewardship. It's like, what's steward? That means taking advantage of it. Right now, like, man, I literally at 16, 17 years old, I'm helping my mom to pay $1,000 house note. Because I've always been good at making money, legally and illegally. So here it is, I'm making money. I bought my first car at 15. I ain't had no driver's license. You know what I'm saying? But, and then it wasn't until now that I can appreciate that. Because my daddy sold me my first car. I'm like, bro, how you gonna sell me a car? But what he was showing me is something that I know now. He was showing me if you want it, you grind and you get it. Here he is, my son right now, he's 20 years old. Just got his first car. And I ain't buying for him. Granted, his grandmother bought it for him because I wasn't buying it. But he's been doing everything like, and the reason I wasn't buying it because we still had this little friction with the co-parenting situation, and so it's like, I'm not buying you no car for you to, stay with your mom and don't come see me. No, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna buy you a car. I feel like a duck. Even in tricking. So I'm gonna say this. Even a woman that's trying to take advantage of you gonna give you some time to get the money or get whatever they need. So I'm like, if you want me just to buy you and spend this money on you and I don't get no time. So I say that to say he got his car and I now he's able to move the way he won't move. He was over here last week, he was with me. And he been coming so much, I'm like, man, if I would do that, I would have helped him get a car. I would have matched his money or something, because I didn't know. But I'm not doing it. But now I've been able to help him get his little car together. I've been helping. He was like, Dad, you gonna help me put my headlights on? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do it. So I helped him put his headlights on. He went to get his windows tinted the other day, and I dropped him off. And I ain't tell him I was gonna help him. You know what I'm saying? But I gave him some money to help pay for his tint and all that, because he's not expecting that from me. But you doing what I expect. I won't be. Let's do some stuff together. Let us spend some time together. He came to Texas with me a couple weeks ago and everything. So I've been like, yeah, let's turn up. Because of that, that's all I wanted from jump. But now he's being able to see who I am versus who Mama said I was at that time when we was bumping heads. Because I may not have been a good boyfriend, I was never a boyfriend, but we wasn't never on that level. But I'm good at being a daddy. Just because I failed at being your man don't mean I failed at being a daddy. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other conversation. But family, we got women. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones on the live feed. y'all can't hold that man. Let that man be a daddy just because he failed at a boyfriend or husband or whatever. Let him be a dad. You know what I'm saying? Hold him accountable. And if you missing them up, tell him, hey, show up for your son. Show up for your daughter. But you don't be the reason that he don't show up. Live feed. I told you nothing about women in here. But yeah, because we talking this family night, right? So let's build up the family, because let's co-parent, let's do whatever we gotta do to make sure our family structure, whether it's blended or not, let's get it together. Let's take back what the enemy's trying to steal. Friends. Okay, I've been talking a little while. Y'all good? Y'all rocking with me? Y'all still with me? So a lot of times, so we talk about success, we talk about wealth, and a lot of times there's another phrase. I've been hitting y'all with a few quotes, right? So your friends, who you around has a big part and a big impact on what you're gonna accomplish. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's people that I was cool with in junior high, I was cool with at y'all age, that I'm not cool with no more. You know what I'm saying? Because, and ain't nothing wrong with them, it's just we on different journeys and different paths in life. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm no longer clubbing no more, I'm no longer doing this, I'm no longer doing that. So it's like the people that I was ran with at junior high, I no longer ran with in high school. There's people that I ran with in high school when I went to college and started to run my business and all that, we no longer hung. And then some people that made it through all of that, now here it is, I'm this man of God and I don't drink no more, I'm not paying for sections in a club no more, I'm not popping bottles no more, now we don't have nothing in common no more because I don't turn up like that no more. We still cool, we still speak and everything, but we don't have nothing in common. So because show me your friends, I show you your future. There's people that, I got some billionaires in my contact. I don't have a desire like to be a millionaire, but if God see fit, then hey, let me get it. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is, I'm not gonna harbor it and just keep it just for me to turn up. I'm gonna make a difference with it. I do stuff now on my last, like man, I'm toy drives and stuff like that, and man, I be scratching and straightening sometimes to do this. But if God put it on my heart, I'm gonna make it happen. So I know if He do put me in a position where I can really have that bag, I know He gonna allow me. It's gonna be an impact that I make. But I say all that to say, I got some men of God that's powerful that I can call right now. I can get on FaceTime right now. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I got some dude, I'm in a room with, like we in this setting right here, I'm in a room with a dude that make $2 million a year. You know what I'm saying? That's what, and I'm happy. I used to make $300,000. So I'm feeling some type of, I'm in front of these people telling them like, man, look, God was doing this in my life, doing this in my business, and then that man get up there, man, making $2 million a year. He got a fake eye, but you can't tell it's fake because he spent so much money on it, and he got the best eye you could buy. You know what I'm saying? But he's telling us this story, and I'm like, wow, I would have never knew that was a fake eye. What? That money hit different when you got this $100,000 eye between this $500,000 eye. Or whatever the case, I'm just using an example, but that's the difference. You know, but at the end of the day, so I'm in communion with people that are people. So it's like you got it's cycles in life. You got people that you're pouring into to help get on your level, and then there's people that's pouring into you that'll take you to their level. So it's like you should be around both cycles. You gotta be around people that's lower than you, not to feel like you up. But like, look, I can pour some. Let me pour into you. Let me give you some wisdom. Let me give you some knowledge. And then you got people that's pouring in. It's a cycle. It's a funnel. So somebody pouring into you, and you pouring into them. You know what I'm saying? But not just pouring in, it stops with you. No, that's why there's people that pour into me in these settings, and that's why I'm here to pour into y'all, because there's people that pour into me, and I hope that there's somebody, your little cousin, your little friend or whatever, you like, man, you know what, I went to the library, and this dude talked for an hour straight, but I did take away something. And whatever your takeaway is, that's what you take away, and you tell them that, and you try to show them and help them, because at the end of the day, we all getting help, and we should be helping. That's what this is, a cycle. You either making a difference or you being a part of the problem. I was part of the problem, now I want to be part of the solution. I'm back. I ain't gonna come back to Luxor for nothing. You couldn't pay me enough money to move back to Luxor. But God sent me back to Luxor. And He used that house that everybody thought I was crazy from getting rid of So that's the only reason I moved back. Boy, that house was nice. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna, you know, it makes sense. Let me go do that. I ain't had that house for a whole year. And God said, poof, that's it. No, I want you to walk away from your business. Now I gotta get rid of the house. I can't afford the house no more. Because my money didn't change. But he used that to get me back. Then we went moving an apartment behind Winn-Dixie. And that's a whole testimony in itself, because we went there and the guy knew me from my property that I owned on Belltown, because I was about to build a new body shop. And so now I went there and I'm like, man, I hope I ain't gotta do the background check and everything. And so we pull up, and the name of the street is Provision Street. But I was praying, Lord, I need your provision. I need you to go before me. Provision is like, you know, a way in. That's what that basically, in so many ways, I need your favor on my life. So favor and faith. So it's like, I need your favor. So I went there, and when I turned on, it's Provision Street. So, okay, I'm like, God, your provision is here. We left there with the keys to the apartment. I ain't had to do no background check, none of that, because at that point, I still had my felonies from when I went to jail. In Lucha, I went to jail downhill, fight broke out, shots rung out, somebody died, fingers got pointed at me, I went to jail. You know, because of something that I like doing and carrying guns at 13 years old, it caught up with me. And I pled guilty to illegal use of a firearm, assault with a firearm, destruction of property, punishment, and something else. I don't know. 5 felonies I pled guilty to. But by the grace of God, I'm standing in front of y'all now because he saw this moment. Can I tell you that I got the sheriff number in my phone? I got the chief of police number in my phone. I got the detective. One of the detectives was here this morning, and he calling me. And when his number pop up, I'm like, because he wasn't working here no more. He went to another parish, but he came back he back working in St. James Parish. And I saw a unit pull in the library, and I was looking out my back window. I was making a smoothie, and the phone rang, and I'm like, man, I wonder if that's him. And so I answered the phone. He talking to me like, yeah, you know, he talking. He was like, yeah, I'm back. I've been back for about 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, but I ain't got my old unit. I'm driving another truck. And I described the truck to him. He like, yeah. He like, why, you see me? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at you at the library right now. And he was like, all right, well, cool, I'm gonna get with you and everything like that. Then when he leaves the library, he come over there, pull up at my house and talk to me. He's like, man, they got a poster of you in the library. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do something tonight at the library. I'm gonna be there talking. But I'm telling you that all to say, like, these same detectives and the same sheriff that when they came and got me, he was a detective now they sheriff now. I know these people. But it's different because I'm no longer that person that they can't put in handcuffs. Now I'm the person that they use and connect with when it's time to go set people free. Because that's the difference. I broke the cycle. I'm no longer living a life of crime. I'm no longer tripping and falling victim to what stereotypes and what people say I should be doing or living up to a slave to my name. No, the word say that he'll make your name great. You know what I'm saying? He'll put you in front of great people. Your gift will make way for you. What are you good at? What are you gifted at? And what is you going through right now that can be your testimony? Okay, yeah, you know what? My daddy wasn't there. But when I get married and I have my kids, I'm going to be the best father I could be. Okay, my mama wasn't there. My mama was on drugs, and my grandmother did raise me. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to open up. Well, I ain't going to just smoke some weed. I ain't going to just vape, man. You never know. You know, there's a girl that was up for graduation, went to a party, and took a pill, and she died. She didn't graduate. Took a pill for her first time. Took a fentanyl pill. Having fun at a party. Man, you don't take nothing. You don't let nobody give you nothing. I don't care if it's a pill. I don't care if it's a candy, because they disguise it everything. Man, if you don't know people, you don't take nothing from them. Man, sometimes they may be your friends. Everybody ain't your friend. And a lot of times we give somebody a title saying they our friend just because we know them. That don't mean, I tell my little girl all the time, we go to a lot of different places, we travel a lot, we meet different people all the time. And so she was telling me, Dad, yeah, that's my friend. I'm like, that ain't your friend. She was like, no, because we was at the game and all that. I was playing with my friend. I'm like, that's not your friend. You played with her, but that's not your friend. So it's like my little 5-year-old, she like tripping, like, what you mean? No, that ain't your friend. You don't know her. You met her, you played with her, but that's not your friend. Friendship is something that's developed over time. And then a person, you got to stop. So this is for everybody, but I'm going to take it to y'all level. If you got a friend, quote unquote, that you go to school with, and if he hating on you, they always stealing from you, they always want what you got, a lot of times, that gonna be the reason y'all not friends down the line. If they hating on you, they jealous of you, always got something negative to say about you. Right now, if you ignore it, it's gonna come back later on down the line. You're gonna deal with it then. So I like to see people for what it is. If you show me you a snake, you a snake. If you show me you fake, you fake. I'm not gonna be like, well, no, he just tripping. Oh, it ain't that serious. A lot of times we deal with that because we allow people to be our friends. Can I tell you that I know this lady, her son died at 18 years old. Can y'all tell me who was the reason that he died? His friend. It was his friends. Can I tell you that he was laid dead on the ground and nobody was there with him? And guess who he was with? His friends. Can I tell you who left him for dead?
His friends.
Why would friends do that? They wasn't his friends. They fake. He thought they was his friends, but a friend gonna stick with you. Brothers are made for time for adversity. When you going through life, that person that show up for you, when you feeling depressed and you talk to this person and they talk to you and they give you encouraging words, and when you can't talk to nobody else, but you able to talk to this person because mama fussing and daddy ain't there and you ain't got no food in the house, but this person make sure you got food, make sure you got snacks and not making fun of you because you're not able to dress down or not making fun of you because you're not able to participate in that. If that person look out for you, that's your friend. When you going through it, if they there for you, that's your friend. Not the person that gonna make fun of you and beat you up and talk about you. You know what I'm saying? That's the person you draw closer. That's friends. That's the people that you show up with. I'm gonna use these, y'all see these white folk in y'all? That's my friends. I just met them but we've been knowing each other about 6-7 years now. I didn't grow up with them. Can I tell you they don't live around here? They live way an hour. It took y'all, an hour and 15 minutes to get here? And I didn't even know they was coming. But they showed up. Because we friends. That's what we do. We show up. I show up for them, they show up for me. And I didn't ask them to come. I didn't even tell them. I didn't even know they was coming. But they showed up. And that's what you call friends. That's people that show up without you having to beg for them. You know what I'm saying? You get in the gym and you short on a little money and they send you some money. That's what you call a friend. When you going through a tough time and a tough situation and they show up for you, that's what you call a friendship. And that's what you build on. And that's the people that you rock with it and you deal with it. And then life happens. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you will draw away from each other and that don't make you less friends. We just may not be as close as we was. You know what I'm saying? Different cycles and different lives. We go through different things. You know, but that's what you make sure of, and that's what you prioritize, those type of relationships, those people, and that's who you love on. And man, I got cousins that I don't talk to. We family. We should be the best of friends. We don't talk. I got people that ain't my blood that's tighter than me than some of the people in my family. You know what I'm saying? That I know will show up. I will call them if I got one last call to make on my deathbed. I'm gonna call this person and not somebody that I share the same blood with. Because why? Would they say blood stick closer than water, blood thicker than water? Man, that ain't real. That's not reality. A lot, we would think that's the way it's supposed to be. But can I tell you, some of your blood stab you in the back and hate on you, and if they got water to put a fire out on you, they wouldn't pour it on you. But that's family. That's my blood. But then you got a stranger that'll take the water out of their hand and they drink and to pour out to put the fire out on you. Because they're gonna do whatever they can do to help you and show up for you. So we gotta stop all of these quotes and this loyalty to my family, this loyalty to this person. We gotta stop falling into that because that's not reality. It sounds good, but you will miss a whole blessing, a whole opportunity to have a bond with somebody that you would never have a bond with because they don't look like you, they don't talk like you, they don't dress like you, they didn't grow up where you grew up at, or they not your family. You will miss an opportunity. A person that can really bless your life and be somebody with you that can really connect with you because they didn't grow up in St. James Parish. Nah. They didn't grow up in, man, he ain't from my hood. Nah. He ain't from your hood, but you can be with that person that's from your hood and you be stuck in that same hood. You know how many dudes that I went to school with that still ain't accomplished nothing in their life? Still drugging, still clubbing, and some of them got successful careers, And you see every time you look out, they in the club every Sunday. Day party, night party, evening party, 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 party. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. What are you doing with your life? But everybody's success story is different. Everybody's accomplishment and achievements and what they feel is what I'm supposed to be doing is different. But man, I want to know, are you going to do something that's going to not only affect your family, but it affect your parish and it affect the whole world? What is it that you love to do? What is it that you're good at? What are you going to make a difference? Because I didn't see this. I used to hate that. Look, he got more facial hair than me. How old is he? 16, 17?
17.
He's 17. He got more hair on his face than me. You know what I'm saying? But I used to hate that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I look super young. But here I am in a room full of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds talking to y'all. How old y'all think I am? Somebody tell me how old they think I am. 35. 32. I'm friends with your daddy, so you should know better than that. 34. 40. 38. All right. 39. So I kind of when I said I'm friends with your daddy, they were like, okay, well let's bump it up a little bit. A lot of times people think I'm in my 20s. Dog, I'm 40 years old. I don't look 40. She know I'm 40 because she's like, okay, well he cool with my daddy. My daddy old too. So it's like, but now I understand that your gifting and your purpose is aligned with who you are and who you created to be. So now I'm able to come in these rooms and speak to these different age groups and be receptive and respond. They respond to me because I don't have a head full of gray hair. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, I don't hear nothing from this old man. Now, you know, I come in here with my one, like, well, I got dumps on the dick, you know, but I come in there looking, you know, got some jewelry and all that. I look younger than what I really am. And I'm able to connect, and I know a few little slangs, little jokes, little yay, and all that stuff. I know a couple of little slangs. I could meet where y'all at. I could talk y'all lingo. Because I'm actually in school. I'm walking down the hallway of the school one day, and a woman telling me to go to class. For the help you, sir. You gonna sit me up. I ain't no school. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, but it's an honor and a privilege, you know? Because when I turn 60 and 70 and they think I'm 40 and 50, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I understand that. So I say all that to say, what is it that you're gonna do to impact St. James Parish? We're gonna start there. What it is you're gonna do to impact St. James Parish? We ain't talking about the rest of the world, and we can even break it down a little smaller. What are you gonna do to impact your family? Your family, you know, that way your family could come out and celebrate you. I was at the school and I had a shirt on with my face on it. And it was like, man, a lot of times we only put somebody's face on our shirt when they're dead. That's the only time we happy, and you start digging up pictures from 30 years ago or, you know, 15 years ago. It's like, man, I know I got a picture somewhere with me and them. You know, and you start to make posts and we start to celebrate people and talk about how good they were when they was here, but they no longer here to be able to hear it. You know, like give people their roses while they can smell them. Appreciate and love on people while they're here. And so I had this shirt on, and my wife and them wore it, and I'm like, okay, man, and I was like, man, you know what, I'm gonna wear my shirt too. So I went to the high school, and I got my shirt, and I'm telling them, like, man, you know what, it feels good to see my wife and my kids with a shirt on with me on, and I can actually see them, instead of me being on the other side of the grave, and they walking around with my shirt on, like, okay. I'm like, man, I appreciate that. But it's like, what are you gonna do to make people to say, like, man, yeah, I went to school with him. Oh man, he from here. What's Seneca boy name? Savion. And like, man, I'm looking at the live and everybody like, ooh, celebrating him and your son with him and all that. Like, man, I'm like, man, look, they get to have their moment with it. But he been doing what he had to do. But now people getting to recognize it and appreciate him for what he's doing. But this ain't something he just decided to do last week. This is something that he's been doing. But now he's being able to be, hey, you did it, accomplishment, you achieved your goal, and we talk about that. There's a bunch of people that done left here and did great things. But like some people that's here, that's still doing great things. I ain't in no NFL. I know a few NFL players though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't this multi-millionaire, no Bill Gates and computer guru and none of this, but I'm making a difference. So what it is that you're going to do to make a difference, and your story may not look like somebody else's story. You may not go to the NFL. Can I tell you that and be honest with you? You may not never touch the NFL field, but you still have the potential to make a game-winning play in somebody's life. You may not, let me be honest with you, you may not never make it to the major league, but you can be major. And you don't have to have like, oh man, I want to make it to the league, and then when that opportunity is taken from me, now you doing drugs and you fighting depression because you didn't accomplish that goal that you had when God had a different path for you. And that may not just be your journey. You may be able to go coach somewhere else and make an impact in a student life, and that student going to be the major league. So by default, you're a major league player because you helped coach him, and now they made it to the league. That may be your story. But a lot of times we don't want that to be like, because we look at it like, man, look, this is what I want to do. Here it is. I closed my body shop in 2018. But one of the biggest shops in Baton Rouge, I told the boy who owned it to get into it. I told him, like, bro, like, you doing that custom work, get into the insurance work. He'd have bought a car from Floyd Mayweather and everything, making all kind of money off of something that I told him to do. I ain't got no big shop. And then fast forward, one of the boys that I mentored, he working at a shop in Prairieville, a big shop in Prairieville. He told me last week they delivered 28 calls. I'm like, boy, they working on it. They getting it. But he used to come to me every summer when he was out of school and be at that shop with me. When he had a spring break, he was at that shop with me. And I don't know what his future look like, but I see him in a great position because I poured into him. I don't have to have the big shop. I pay any calls for celebrities and athletes, and I know these relationships. How many of y'all know Fee Banks? Y'all know who Fee Banks is? No, right? All right, you know who Kevin Gates is?
Yeah.
You know who Young Boy is?
Yup.
You know who Mexican OT is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all know these big rappers. Fee Banks is their manager. He's the one that put all them on. Quando Rondo and all these. He's the man behind their success. Lil Wayne, that's his best friend. I did business with him with calls. No, you don't really know who he is, but look at the people that he positioned. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't have to be in front of the camera and seen and do all that, but he's behind the scene making moves. So a lot of times you don't have to be the face. You don't have to be in the picture to be in the picture. Sometimes you gotta play the background. The reason I'm standing in front of y'all right now is because of a prayer that my wife prayed. Because she was praying for me when I'm sleeping, putting her hands over me, praying that I get it together. My wife got baptized. We both got baptized, but she's the reason we got baptized because she wanted to do it. I was like, all right, whatever, I'm going to get wet. Not knowing that was going to be the pivotal change in my life. I was just trying to make her happy. Got in the water for her. You know what I'm saying? Being honest. But I got in that water and I got set on fire. My wife couldn't have kids. We got baptized, and a month after we got baptized, she found out she was pregnant with my first daughter. And that changed me completely. That's why I'm so important. I'm big on family. A lot of times I'll tell people, they be like, man, I love what you do with your family. I love the stuff you do with your wife and all that. Man, my ministry is my family. And the Bible tells you that, you know, your first ministry is your family. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out and do no ministry if your household is in order. But a lot of people miss that. But I've been good at stewarding my family. You know, but I say all that to say my family is my ministry. I got saved because of my wife. The Lord, and even in the Bible, it tells you how his ears are inclined to the prayers of a woman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we pray. I pray 2 times and it's over. Lord, you're going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? You know, but that woman going to have that persistency. She's not giving up. She ain't giving up on her child. She's not giving up on her man. She's not giving up on her cousin. You know, and they're not giving up. Man, forget it. It is what it is. You know, but I'm here, and that's why I'm so big on family, because I know my family is what saved me. Well, can I tell you that when I was fighting those charges, people was trying to give me a life sentence, and I pled guilty to 37 and a half years, but God walked it down to 5 years on probation. Can I tell you the prayer that I prayed to the Lord? Lord, if you allow me to raise my son, because my baby mom was pregnant with my son at the time. If you allow me to be in my son's life, I'll change my life. And I lied to the Lord. And so I wasn't able to be in his life like I wanted to, but I was able to be active a little bit. I saw him, but I went through it, and I felt like that was my punishment because I lied to the Lord, and I didn't keep up on my end of the deal. I told him if he allowed me to get out of this charge and be able to be out here on these streets, I'm gonna change my life, and I didn't change my life, and then I had to fight for my kids up until I changed my life. And it wasn't until I changed and became the man of God that I am today that I literally was able to start seeing my kids. So now I think, man, if I would have did what he told me to do back then, I could have been full-time and in my kids' life, and I ain't got to drive to Texas every other weekend or go get them for 2 days. I could have actually been involved in their life like I wanted to be, instead of being an every other weekend dad. But I was like, okay, that's what I got to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I did it faithfully. On the interstate, every Friday evening, going to Texas to get them. Every Sunday after church, bring them back to Texas. Because that's what I had to do. But if I would have did what God called me to do, I didn't have to do that. I could have. When I got saved, they moved right there to Dexter hand. And I was able to get them every weekend whenever I wanted to. Sure. A lot of times we look back like, no, just be obedient, do what God called you to do. Be the good child your mama needs you to be. Be active and be the man of God and the woman of God or the child of God that you are called to be. It ain't all like, you don't have to bump your head. Duck. I told y'all from that, I opened up with that, right? Y'all got to duck, man. Duck the smoke, duck the drama, duck the foolishness, and actually be who God created you to be. That way you don't have to go around the mountain. You don't have to make the mistakes. I posted something on Facebook the other day. I said, your mama don't deserve to go pick out clothes to bury you in. That was something that I told the kid at the school the other day. Think about that. I remember sitting in court watching my mama cry when the people was telling them about the time they was trying to get me. My mama ain't deserve that, man. My mama awesome, bro. She great. All she wanted was good kids. She tried to homeschool us and show up and take us to sports and do everything. I told her, I said, man, you lucky I ain't, man, my mama had me in gymnastics right there at Devon. I'm like, man, you lucky I'm straight. They don't got me with some little pants on. I'm like, man, you know. But she was like, I'm going to do whatever I can do to keep my kids right. You know what I'm saying? Now fast forward, my kids go to dance and my little girl, she do jump. And I ain't no boys over there no more. I was the only boy back when she started there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that was a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? But I saw mama showing up. So your mama showing up for y'all, they brought y'all here. You know what I'm saying? Daddy showing up, like y'all, they brought y'all here. They didn't bring you here for nothing. They brought y'all here in hopes that y'all hear something that could help straighten y'all up. And y'all ain't got to be doing nothing bad. You ain't got to be a horrible kid to be a bad kid. You're like, okay, well, I don't get into that trouble, but you don't need to get in no trouble.
Right.
I ain't doing what they're doing, but that don't make it right. That the boy who stole a golf cart, he wasn't no bad kid. He made a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? But it could have changed the trajectory of his whole life. Thank God he went still a golf cart from a man of God that actually values these kids' life, because I really want to make a difference in their life. Had he would have went 2 doors down and stole that man that don't look like him golf cart, he would have been in Compton. Well, not Compton, they don't have no juvenile facility in Compton. He would have been in across the river, in Dawsonville, or in Revard in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? But he came to me because I'm active and I want to make a difference. But it would have been anybody else, they probably would have shot him or anything else. So I say all that to say, you can make a bad decision that can alter your whole future and put you in a situation that'll mess you all the way up. So you got to be wise. You got to make wise choices. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're posting on social media. Think about, man, you can play in, oh man, make this bomb threat, and people gonna lock you up. Man, I wasn't serious. Who cares? You're going to jail. They care. You could be playing. That don't mean that. It could be just a joke. Just a free thread or clowning or whatever, and they take that literal. You don't know. So that's why you gotta make sure. And you just gotta be wise, man. You gotta make wise decisions. So I'm gonna start talking a hole in y'all head. So but before we get out of here, I wanna know what it was that you took away from the day. to make me feel like I ain't sitting up here and waste all my time talking to y'all. So I will give everybody opportunity to say something that stuck with you, or you know what, even if it ain't something that you could quote and be like, oh, you said this. It's just like, you know what, I feel better, I feel whatever. I don't know, just give you liberty. So we're gonna start with the people that got their hands up.
So when you said
Kids.
No, you last.
you said when the kid came to steal your golf cart,
Yeah.
and he stole it, but you said back then you would have like shot him or whatever, but you didn't because you transformed. That just shows like God transformed your life.
Right.
He lifted up, he shifted you.
Right.
And that kind of inspired me.
Awesome. Right. And that's the thing. So somebody posted on Facebook, matter of fact, the Mac Ball, one of the people that's a part of that, they commented and posted like, boy, you lucky Pastor not who he used to be. That was they literally posted it and said that. I'm like, man, like, okay, I gave my community the opportunity to see that I ain't who I used to be. I'm like, wow. And that's what it is, that transformation. And then I got a buddy that, you know, me and him used to get at bump heads, and he was like, bro, when you stop when I noticed you change when you stop fussing with me, because I want to fight everybody. I didn't fight. I ain't care, you know. And when you talk to your dad, ask him what happened, me tearing it down in the club over there. Me, by myself, me, Big Jared, all that. I'm fighting Jared and everybody. I ain't care. Now we all cool. Me and Lenore were fighting and all that. Cutting up, tearing it down. But now here it is. I'm with him the other day, talking to him. We all chilling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not who I used to be. You know what I'm saying? But when you give people opportunity to see transformation in you, and for a long time, that's when you see, okay, maybe you is changed. And that's why I understand why God brought me back to Luxury, because people know me from Luxury. People know my family, and they knew the foolishness that I was involved with. And then he put me on Front Street. I ain't never want to live on I hate like being like super visible. I want to live in a cul-de-sac. I want to be out the way. God said, no, you're going to live right there on the main street where everybody pass blowing, and you waving, you don't know who you waving at. I'm like, man, I don't know who it is. And then somebody says, man, that was me. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? What you got?
You guys said, like, kind of like, so, like, life is, like, kind of short, so, like, don't use it, like, long.
Yeah, don't waste it. Awesome. All right, now who else want to volunteer before I start calling people? All right.
Watch who you make friends with and what you do with them.
Watch who you make friends with and watch what you do with them. Because everybody not your friend. Everybody ain't real and everybody ain't your partner. All right, so who gonna volunteer before I start calling on people? Well, next volunteer. Last call. No move. So y'all ain't volunteering? Going once? Going twice? I'm gonna start right here since you got your head down and you don't want me to call on you. So what was something that I said that you were like, man, I like that. That made sense. Everybody not your friend. Of course you're gonna say it. He just said that. Nah, that's good. We can do that. We can do that. All right, we can go over here, ma'am. Achieving your goals. All right, what you gonna do once you achieve your goals? Go. What you gonna do with that? Now you accomplish your goal. Now what? What's the next step? Make a difference. Make a difference. Make an impact. Yeah, let's go.
Don't do things in your life.
Don't what?
Do things in your life.
Don't do things that in your life.
To end your life.
In your life.
In your life.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, and then like, cause man, we had some time now. Like, I was hoping that he just showed up. One of my little neighbors, his son, well, her son, because the dad passed away not too long ago. He's a senior in high school, and he shot himself. You know what I'm saying? But by the grace of God, he's still alive. But he's senior in high school, letting the pressures of life get to him. But God gave him a second chance, and he appreciated, like, man, like, ain't no way you shoot yourself in the head and you walk over, you know, you don't have nothing but whiplash. That's God's plan for his life. And, you know, and so but then I go back and forth with it, like, man, like, God put me here because we outside in my front yard with the speakers blasting and they sitting outside because his mama be like, man, that was good. I didn't come walk over there because I had family over because we be outside for Mardi Gras then with the parade and then we do the toy drive Christmas Eve on my property and everything. She was like, man, I love what y'all was doing. I love the music and all that. So I feel like those prayers are going out, that worship is going out, and that protection, the hedge of protection was on his life because of what we doing and why God put us right here. All right? Come on, man, with your stars, the superstar. What you got? You ain't got nothing. You ain't getting nothing from all that talking I did. Not one thing. She like, I ain't went in one end out the other. You took away something. You don't know. Oh man, I feel bad. Nah, I'm good. All right. You took something. You just gonna let it marinate. All right. What you got? Yeah, you.
Don't take life for granted.
Don't take life for granted. What you got? You, ma'am.
To make the
Right choices. Awesome. Let's go.
What you do before you do it.
Be careful what you do before you do it. Yep. So be careful. All right, ma'am.
Based on the things you said about success, I would say success is more about like having a good relationship with God, having a good relationship with your family, things like that that will last a lifetime.
Ooh. Right there. You said, because a relationship with God, that's important. Your family. That's what true success. I feel like right now I'm most successful and I done had a lot of material things. But my biggest success is what I'm doing now. I feel like I'm walking in true success. And and that's really what it's about. Like me, and I don't have 7 cars. I ain't got no big house. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I had $120,000 in my bank account, and I had $100 in my bank account, and I had $1.20 in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like right now I'm walking in true success and actually making an impact and making a difference. All right? And the bag there, what you got? Oh, wait, well, we gonna get to y'all. Y'all wanna go so bad, we gonna do y'all. Think before you act. All right, think before you act. All right, let's go, Jones. Jones gang.
Don't go ruining your life in the streets.
Yeah. That's a takeaway. Don't let them streets rob you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna let you slide because he locked in like that. You're like, don't call me. Let's go back. Baseball. It's baseball, basketball. Baseball. You like playing baseball too? I'm a ball player right there. All right. What you got? Let me see you knock it out the park. Let me hit him with this home run. Let's go. Yeah, materialistic items is not everything. All right. Come on. Let's go. You don't know. You got something. Tell me something. Tell me one thing you got. One thing that made sense to you. Like, okay, I get it. That's cool. That you can go back and tell somebody else. Something you can go tell your cousin. Man, that man talked and he said this. You ain't got nothing for me? Nothing? All right. I'm gonna let you slide just because you ate. I know. You passed that 8-minute attention span. Your age is your attention span. So I appreciate you for sitting and chilling the whole time. Value life while you got the opportunity. Right now. So what's the hardest part of the day? Yeah, what's the hardest part of your day? Today, what was the hardest part of your day today? You had to go where? Alternative school? All right. I went to alternative school last week, and that's where I talked to, as a matter of fact, last Thursday. So can I tell you that wasn't your hard, that was the easy part. The hardest part was waking up today. That's the hard, somebody didn't wake up today. And somebody not going to sleep tonight. So a lot of times we look at where we at, oh man, I had to go to alternative school today, but you didn't have to go there. You could have, there's another alternative. You know what I'm saying? You could have not woke up. Your eyes could have not woke up today. So everything after that is downhill from that. We can figure the rest out. You get in trouble, we can figure that out. We'll work through that. We just not gonna be able to turn to school next semester, next year. When y'all get out of school? Today was your last day? That's your last day. So when you start school next year, you ain't gotta go back to return school? So you ain't gotta go back. Make today was your last day at alternative school.
That's right. That's right.
All right? Today and end. We break that cycle today in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right, let's go. You know you all we got. I let you slide. So what you got? I gave you time to listen to everything somebody else said. So you could say what you want to say or use. Follow God's plan for your life. And I forgot you almost slid by me over there. I forgot you was back there. All right, what you got?
Take advice and duck.
Take that advice and duck. What it's about. So all right, what you got? You?
I want to add on to what he said about your friends. Like not everybody being your friend.
Right.
So I came to realize like everybody not really your friend, and the people you have around you, they really influence you.
Yeah.
The environment you be around influence you.
Yeah.
And that feeds into your spirit, and that changes who you is sometimes.
That's
right.
So if you ain't have a good mental, it's gonna get into you.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna change who you is.
So there's like I guess you would say energy law. You used to say that for sake of I ain't got the right words, but it has the ability to impact you. Like you ever see somebody who got a mean attitude and a bad day, and they just the next thing you know you get aggravated because they was aggravated, and they just have an opportunity to just because they having a bad day and they got a bad attitude, not even making you have a bad attitude. Like energy has an opportunity to transfer. You know what I'm saying? And then we got something else like if you really want to dig into it, we got a transfer of spirits. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of what spirit you're around and what you entertaining because it has the opportunity to influence you. So it's going to influence you either negative way if you're around negative people, negative energy, or if you're around positivity. Now you find yourself smiling and clowning because you're around somebody who always smiling and clowning. You know what I'm saying? There's no negative energy, love, like my girl Paige said. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, what are you around? What are you going to pour into? And what are you going to be around? Do you want to be around negative Nancy, somebody always complaining and always, man, you always got negative energy. You always got bad vibes. Nah, I want to be around positive people. And it has the ability, and then if you got around, like you said, you got around people that's getting into foolishness, and it has the ability to get you in some foolishness. You know, sometimes you guilty by association. You ain't got to do nothing but just be around. You could literally pull up 5 minutes ago, and then somebody pull up and they shoot the whole block up because they want this person and not you there, and you get shot up, and the odds will be you the one that gets shot and killed, and you ain't got nothing to do with nothing that went on, but you there around some negative foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So you got to guard your energy, guard your space. And somebody calling you and all they do is have negative stuff to say and all that, man. They call me with some foolishness. And I'm going to call you back. I get off the phone right. Hold on, let me call you back. Man, I ain't got nothing going on. I just don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, especially if we get to talking about the same thing over, man, I ain't miss me with that. So, all right, before we get out of here, what you take away from this? And if you feel like it was a good choice to give you the come. How many chances?
We may get a whole nother
One.
hour.
One, ma'am. I got 3 things.
All right.
Three things. He told y'all about pouring in and who poured into you.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it this way. How y'all cup is when y'all pouring?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of energy y'all pouring? Though we talk about energy.
Positive.
You got positive energy, so you expect somebody to pour positive energy back into you.
Mm-hmm.
If that person you pouring life into somebody, you want people that's gonna put life back into you.
Mm-hmm.
So be mindful, like you said, the energy, the transmitters, the transfer of the spirits when somebody's pouring into you.
Yeah.
That was my other nugget was you used the word wealth,
Well,
spiritual wealth.
yeah.
Gain the word wealth. He kept giving y'all scriptures. He kept telling y'all the word every time he spoke something. So when you gain wealth, you gain spiritual wealth.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you talk about connections and bridges and builders. Many times we get overlooked, as that's how the world sees. We get overlooked when we pour into people. We get overlooked. Like you said, when you're working behind the stage, people don't give you the credit that's stage. Don't get vexed, don't get upset. Y'all keep on pushing. Keep on doing what y'all was ordained to do. Keep on doing y'all talents, y'all gifts. And it's gonna actually say make room for y'all. So don't get discouraged when people thinking they overlooking y'all. Because y'all still succeeding. Y'all still soaring greater than the person that's trying to overlook y'all.
Yeah. And that's one thing because I got you. So a lot of time you feel like you're being overlooked because we looking for acceptance or somebody to pat us on our back when that's not the person that we should be looking up to. You know what I'm saying? Because everything you do it unto the Lord. So everything that you do, you should be doing it, and the Lord will pat you on the back. He'll bless you. So I wind up doing this toy drive, right? So, and that's like, I'm thinking about it because my sister, she was like, oh, I seen with the Mac ball thing or whatever like that. But they honored me the day after I did my toy drive. And I did that with no expectations, and I'm just doing what God called me to do. God called me to be in Luxor, have this property. So it started out with me just gathering with family. So we would do toy drives annually for years. And then I started doing stuff at my house for Christmas Eve. And then like God just started dealing with me, like, why you just don't do a toy drive at your house? I'm like, okay, on Christmas Eve anyway, just open up to the public and y'all just hang out and just cook and let people just come out. So we did that, and I did that for like 2 years. And so last year was my second year doing it. And the day after the Making a Change Foundation, the crew of Mac, they honored me as an ambassador for the things that I'm doing in the community. And I was like, wow, so I didn't do it for none of that. I'm just doing what God has called me to do. So I'm doing that. I'm making my impact and doing what God called me to do. But then, without any pat on the back, not looking for nobody to pat me on the back, I wound up getting a pat on the back. And I didn't even realize how big it was till I'm here with, the chief of police, I think he is. I don't know what position he holds, but he's one of the dudes that's honored. We got the fireman, chief of the fire department in St. James, like, people, and then I realized, like, hold on, there's some people that went before me, like, with big names that was honored just like I'm being honored. I'm like, wow, this is awesome, because I didn't really know that. I didn't know who they be honoring. I'm just like, okay, cool, because I don't do it for man satisfaction, because the minute you looking for a man for you, and they don't, now you feel like what I did it for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, you get up and you pat yourself on the back, man, I did it. And when you don't feel like patting yourself on the back, because sometimes you're going to fail you. Sometimes you, like, I'm my hardest critic. I'm so hard on myself because I know I can be better at whatever I do. I pray every morning, like we come in here. I pray, Lord God, remove me and use me, give me the words to speak to your people. Allow me to exceed expectation. Because I know I'm a mere man. I'm going to fail you. I'm going to tell you something you don't like. I'm going to do something you don't like. I'm going to fail you. I'm not going to pick up the phone when you call in and you feel like I should pick up the phone. I'm going to miss the ball because I'm a man. I'm flawed. I ain't perfect. I ain't got it all together. But there's a God in heaven who don't miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we talk about fathers, and sometimes your earthly dad gonna miss it. He gonna miss it. I'm a father and I miss it. You know what I'm saying? But we got a heavenly Father that don't miss. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you gotta strive to be like. And that's why he say even greater things you're gonna do. You saw I did this, you're gonna do greater things. And that's what we strive to be better. And I'm hard on myself because I know, like, sometimes I'll just do the bare minimum. Let me see something. Everybody raise your hand. All right, now raise it up a little higher. Why y'all didn't raise it that high the first time when I told y'all raise it? Instantly, we just do the bare minimum. I raised my hand. And then we pushed up for more. Like, okay, I got higher, I got more in you. So what if we approach life and go high as we can? Give it all. And then and you do it that much, and then God might give you a little bump, and you can stand right to it and raise up a little high. He give you a little boost. You know what I'm saying? That's like when I try to get something off the top shelf and I can't reach it. I go give me a chair. He might give you a chair. You know what I'm saying? Short man problem. Y'all, you're on the. So, and that's what we trying to do. We trying to equip y'all, man. We want to equip y'all. They put this together to equip y'all, to make an impact on y'all life. I can guarantee you there's something else. All of these women in here and adult men in here that could be doing. They got something else they could be doing tonight. But there was nothing more important than getting y'all in this room, because they felt like there was something that needed to be said to y'all. And there was stuff I could have did. I was in the middle of painting before when you walk out there, you look across the street and you'll see my fan still in the door. But I'm here because I felt like God used me. He used my business. Granted, he did. And when I closed it, people was like, man, you good at painting cars and all that. But then God dealt with me, said, why would I be so focused on restoring cars when I can see you out and restore lives?
Yeah.
Why? I can make a car look good. But I feel better if I tell you something that make you look good and feel good about yourself and go out and make a difference.
Yes.
Cars are depreciating every day. They're losing value every day. But the words that I'm speaking into y'all life and y'all actually getting it and being great and being legendary and making an impact, that's gaining value. So every seed, every nugget that I pour into y'all, that's gaining value. That's asset. Y'all are assets. I'm investing in y'all today. And I pray that I get a return on my investment. You go out and make a difference. I don't want to make a bad investment. I done made some bad business investments. I done took some L's. But I'm praying today, not no L. We winning today. We gonna learn, we gonna live, and we gonna create and be great. Y'all with it?
Yes.
Okay, any parents got something else y'all wanted to add?
Yes,
A takeaway?
I was waiting for my turn.
No, what you takeaway is?
My takeaway is your past does not define your future.
My past did not.
Your past will break you or become you.
Yeah, you either gonna learn from it, it's gonna break you, or it's gonna build you. You're gonna build off it. And then, because at the end of the day, it's like a lot of times, we be like, man, why I gotta go through this? Why I had to go through? Why not? When God gonna use it? Because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and our word of our testimony. And we feel like, okay, what's the blood of the Lamb and word of our testimony? Our word of our testimony helps somebody else become freedom, receive freedom. But then there's another part that say, I love not like my life until death. So that means that I hate who I used to be. I don't like who I used to be at all. When I look back on how disgusting I was and shooting these videos with these women and talking about, anyway. But yeah, but I don't doubt, but all of that propelled me to be the man that I am now. Amen. Because I put my wife through stuff that I shouldn't have put my wife through stuff because she wasn't my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. But I put her through stuff that she didn't have to go through. I put my kids through stuff that they didn't have to experience because of the decisions that I made and all of these things. But now, that all prepared me to be the man I am now. Everything that I went through, whether it's me going to jail and it's me running with this one and running with that one, it really prepared me. That's like, man, I always clown about this, but I'm serious. There ain't nobody can expose me. I ain't in nobody deal. When I made a decision to get married, before I got married, I was fully committed. Before I asked my wife to marry me, and nobody could expose me and say none of that because I value. But there was a point in my life when I was with all. But that's the thing, like I'm not living like that. But in value, and I've always valued marriage because I've seen my parents was married, and I've seen it. They ain't all had it together, but I've seen this relationship and how you steward that. And then once I became a man of God, I understand that God honors marriage and the covenant. You know what I'm saying? So me basically cheating on my wife, telling God the woman He gave me ain't good enough. Amen. You know what I'm saying? So me not tending to prioritizing the kids that He blessed me with, telling them these kids not good enough when my wife couldn't have no children, and then now we have these 2 daughters. So if I don't properly show them what a man looks like and how a man supposed to love you, then what I'm doing, I'm failing. So that's why I go extra hard on being active and being that guy when it's showing up. Be the one that show up. I see the difference on the way my kids change when I show up and I'm sitting in those bleachers. I see the difference when I show up for my kids and be active and just eat. And they might not get better. It's just like my Josiah. He had a plate. I went to his plate. Nah, he probably don't know this, but I'm about to tell him myself. I missed the whole plate. I had the timing wrong. I showed up after, but I was there at the end. He thought I was there. I showed up. You know what I'm saying? I took my pictures and everything. I showed up. I took my photo out. I was there. You know what I'm saying? He knew. He knew now. But I noticed the difference when you show up. You know how many times students that invited me to baseball games, graduations, birthday parties and stuff, and we show up and go there for them, and that made me feel good. You actually invite me to your birthday party. I come to your school. And then here it is. We go to these schools every week after week that we going, and then we get to the point where I'm like, man, you know what? I'm tired. Why, like, God using me in my own parish? Why I gotta go on the West Bank to this school?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, why I'm going there? But then it's like, no. Then here we are with one of the students. Like, man, if y'all wasn't coming to this school, I would have killed myself. Y'all the only thing that motivated me. And I'm like, man, we gotta keep doing this program. You know what I'm saying? But then they showed me, like, God showed me how to steward my time better. And instead of not going to show up at these schools because I got work that I need to be accomplishing, you know what? I'm going to go to these schools and I'm going to reschedule this appointment, and I'm not going to paint your car last Saturday like I'm supposed to, because I went to 2 schools last week. You know, so they're like, you know what? Just do it next week. You know what I'm saying? And it was okay with it. I hope you're okay with it. So you should be okay with it now. So the joke is, I was supposed to fix our car last week, but I had to go to 2 schools, and then I messed my schedule up, so I wasn't able to do it, so I fell behind. But the impact that I made, and then not only that, and she's able to be here and say, like, okay, well, cool, he doing what he got to do. But I make that necessary effort to make myself available to be able to pour into these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody would have been able to pour into me when I was in school, I probably would have went a different direction. And I'm grateful for what I did go. I'm thankful for my testimony. But if I could have avoided some of the foolishness, I would have been glad to avoid some of the foolishness.
Right.
So yeah. So anybody else got a takeaway?
I'm proud of you.
You proud of me?
I'm proud of you.
All right, man. My buddy said he proud of me.
The one that walked out?
Yeah.
We grew up.
Yeah, because he know me. You know what I'm saying? He watched me go through my transition, so he can appreciate it, and he know it's authentic because he know that this is me, and I ain't getting paid to be here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, I probably may go talk to them because I need the extra money. Nah, I'm coming here because I'm making a deposit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm expecting a return from each and every one of y'all. Y'all owe me.
That's right.
And you don't owe me no money. You just owe me being great.
That's right.
You just owe me you giving it 100%. You know what I'm saying? So when you make it to the league or whatever God usually do, man, you know, you ain't gotta shout me out, but just, you know, hit that ball a little harder because of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? You show up. That's like one of the kids, they had playoffs and they lost yesterday, but I'm like, you left it all on the field? He was like, yeah, that's all. I'm happy. You might not win every game, but you better play every game. Give it 100%. All right, so that's my time. Y'all got any more? Y'all got any questions? Anything to say? Any parent? Anybody got? Nothing. You're like, okay, no. Let's wrap this up. I enjoyed it. So I want to do something with y'all. I don't know if we got this. Ain't school, so I don't get no consent. I want to take a picture with y'all. At schools, I'll be able to get a consent form and everything else. Let me see if I can squeeze everybody in there.
Get all on one side.
Oh, all right.
One side.
All right, here we go. One side.
You see us back here?
Yeah, I see y'all, baby.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I can't see the
That's
thing behind.
like the question now.
Scoot over a little. There you go. Right there. Scoot down. All right, cool. There we go. All right, let me this way.
Record.
I bet no, I'm good.